Hello, my name is Betty Campbell. Welcome to Serendipity Music Studio. Usually I'm doing music from this room, but today I'm going to be doing a sewing project. We're very concerned about the coronavirus, and people do not have masks, and this includes doctors and nurses who are dealing with sick patients. So I have a t-shirt, and I'm going to be using it to make a mask. Now this t-shirt is usually carried by Joann's and also Michael's, and I changed the neck on this because the neck casing was just too tight. It was just not comfortable. And then when I took it off, it's too loose. So I'm going to be making something useful out of this. The first thing that I did was to cut off the bottom, and that now became the tie of when I made this version of this. This is the string is actually that bottom. It was secured with a zigzag stitch. So right now I had to come up with, using a strip of 1 inch wide, which was right above that hem, and it was a circle also. So this is going to be used for doing this mask, which is a smaller size. So we have a pattern here. And we had laid this on the width of the shirt, and this became our tie. It is 1 inch. And if you could have some tissue paper, or if you whatever kind of paper you have, notebook paper, it's going to be fine. I mean, use it. We're going to be making this size, which is 6.5 by 8.5 inches. It is smaller than my finished size here. The reason we're using the smaller size is because this is all the fabric I have left. And so I'm going to be pinning the fabric in position and then cutting it out. I think I'm going to change this pattern a little bit, make it a little different from what I did in this finished one, because it took so long to do it. And I'm looking for kind of doing a shortcut. When I was working on the back, you can see I was trying to sew through multiple heavy layers of fabric, and that took a long time. We need to be able to really get a lot of these done in a short period of time. Okay, so I'm going to use this piece of material down here. It's going to be smaller. Might not even fit all the way with this, but I'm going to pin this on. And and I'm going to avoid that sleeve there. Okay, I've got my pins right here. We're still just doing a practice one, so if it's not exactly perfect, I'm not going to worry about it. We can line it up as best we can. Yeah, I'm using special scissors for people with arthritis in their hands. It's made by Fiskars. Okay. All right. Okay, so this is what we have here. I think it's a little bit wider on this edge, not perfectly straight. It's better. Okay. Now we're going to turn this. I'm changing this pattern so that we just sew across the top and across the bottom. And that should avoid all of that extra fabric that I had on the sides. The nice thing about working with the knit is that it does not fray. You're not going to have loose ends coming loose of this material. And when I did the other one, I used the same directions as I did on using cloth. Okay, I have this threaded already, and I'm going to tie a knot. I'm using a double thread, and I'm going to turn it around on my finger. I've got a little circle there, and I'm going to try to tuck these ends into that circle, pinch it with my left hand, and bring it up, and I have a knot. So that may take a little bit of practice. So I'm just going to do a running stitch. And I'm just going in and out. Okay, I'm going down and up and down and up. Okay, then I'm going to pull it through. And do some more of that, down and up. Now, finding a needle that works well is an important part of this. I'm going to reinforce this stitching by going over that last stitch several times. And it's fairly tight there. Okay, this is also a viscose scissors. And I'm going to try to thread this needle without taking a lot of time to do it. I had bought this filled with needles a long time ago. And I'm down to this one needle. and I have some huge ones, like this one, which is just really too big. Could not get that through the fabric. And I have tiny ones that I was finding that I don't think the thread even goes through the eye of the needle. So we're going to try to do this again, getting it in here. Thank you. Okay, put the two ends together. Maybe twist it a little bit. This is really for beginning sewers, I'll tell you. But I'm thinking of a cousin who never had sewing lessons, and this is for her and all others who think, oh, I don't know how to do this. All right, there you go. Not terribly straight there, but I'm not going to worry about it. I would encourage children to try this. I don't know how old your children are, but they can certainly do part of it. And if you did the cutting, and probably, so they wouldn't be using anything sharp, it would be good. So I started sewing doll clothes, and so this is a good way to get started sewing. All right, I'm not going to take time to sew that much here. It'll go quickly, except that I do need to put more thread in this needle. And I'm going to have to fasten this off now in order to secure this thread so it doesn't come loose. Put it back in there. Perhaps if you had a heavier t-shirt, it would not be necessary to sew two pieces of fabric together. But it seemed to me that for just having one thickness of this material was just really not enough. And it is easier to work with, I think, when you have the two thicknesses of material. But what we're trying to do is to take something that you might already have at home. It doesn't mean that you need to go out shopping, because a lot of people are isolated at home right now. And we're getting to the end, and I'm going to fasten that again. I think I had done in place 2 stitches the other times. Seems like it's holding. Okay, let's give it a tug. Seems to be all right. But I do need to have a good knot at the end. And I think I do. I don't want to lose this one and only needle that it seems to fit. I'm putting in a piece of paper, you put it in another piece of fabric. I'm going to turn this now. Okay, so I'm going to sew across the top. And I might need to sew across the bottom also. I might not take time for that now, because I think you could probably manage to do that. What I'm going to do next is doing the pleats. And I had measured 1.5 inches from the bottom, and I'm going to use my tape measure. You might maybe have a ruler at home. And I'm going to put in a pin here in the center and maybe another one. Okay, I'm going to fold it. That's my fold line. I'm going to fold it, and I am going to bring it up so that I have a 1/2 inch underneath as a crease. And I'm just going to move my pins down and secure this first pleat. Hard to get this through. We're already working with, yeah, we are going to do this this way. I was thinking we're working with already multiple layers of fabric. The important thing is to get your side and the sides and then also to stay kind of straight in the middle. You can actually put the pin this way. Okay, I'm going to wait for 1 inch. Have I still got my pleat here? I think I went down a little bit. Let's take a look at that. It could be better. It's a little bit more than I want. I'm going to try this again. Okay, I have one pin left over from 1.5 inches. Okay. Okay. I'm going to pick that up and move it so that it's 1/2 inch. Okay, I'm going to fasten this. Okay. All right, does that look straight now? You can see that it's got. Okay, we're going to make one more pleat. So we're going to skip 1 inch here. And I'm going to bring that up, and that will be our second pleat. And that should also be about 1/2 inch deep, but it might be a little bit less. Okay. Okay, now when you open that mat, there's your mask. Check this on the back. Let's see if that's about right. Okay, now the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to sew these pleats together so that they're tucked in there, and then we're going to sew them like that. And our tie is going to go in there. I don't have another tie to show you. But you can see from the first one that this is a casing that I'm making to put that tie in there. And this is when you're going to lay that tie in there, and then you're going to do this and fasten it. And I'm going to show you another stitch to use to do that. And do that on both sides. And then you're going to open it up, and it's going to be a mask. Okay? Okay, when I'm doing this on the sides, and I'm right now, I don't have as much material on this side as when I did this one, because I didn't go all the way around to tuck it under. I just did. Right now what I'm doing differently is to just do the top and the bottom and sew it under. I think you're going to like to do your running stitch across the top and across the bottom. You can see my stitching here perhaps because I used the white thread. But it gives it a nice finished edge, and you can do something even in a contrasting color if you would like to do that. So I'm going to show you how to fasten these so that they don't come apart, and so you can actually turn under. And I don't know if you have any experience with hemming of a skirt or a pair of pants, but this is a hemming stitch, I think. And this, you probably could figure the rest of this out, but I'm going to show you how to do this. Okay. I'm going to go with my needle about 1 inch from the edge. I'm going to put my needle in that pleat. I'm going to go and get it. And give it a little tug. And I'm going to sew that. I go behind the pleat, get a little stitch. I don't know if you can see that. Come under the pleat itself, pull it up. Go behind the pleat, take a little bit of material, turn it toward the pleat, go under the pleat, pull it up. And do a couple more of those. That'll secure the pleats so that you can turn it. I'm going to fasten that securely. With 2 stitches. And I'm also going to have to do that on the other pleat. Again, about 1 inch from the edge. And I'm gonna remove my pins. You know, I think I want to fasten it on this side also. So tacking it on the right side of the mask and also on the back side of the mask would help. Okay. And then we're going to turn it in just a minute. Make our casing. Need to make a bigger knot. That still could be better. Let's see. I can always just put my needle between the two threads if my knot is too small, and just hook in that end. That worked. This is like anything else, it just takes a little bit of practice. Okay, now you'll see that the mask itself is now about 3 inches. And that's about the width of a mask that I have been buying from ProTech. I'm going to use my 1-inch guide here. To cut the tie so that you can see how it works. I'm not going to have a complete circle like I had because at the bottom, but I am going to be able to sew at least show you. You really do want to have the complete circle when you take anything off of the bottom, because trying to sew the ends together to make a strong enough circle for the tie kind of might work, but one thing, we want the tie to be able to slide and to work freely. But I'm showing you what I have, and now you'll figure it out. Okay. And probably make improvements on this also. I'm just showing you what I've learned. And for those of you who have a sewing machine, you could certainly do this with a zigzag stitch. And I do this pattern essentially for doing it with quilting fabric would be pretty much the same, but you would take time to press and that sort of thing. Okay, so now you have, at least you'll be able to see how this is going to work. Okay, I'm going to just use this side where I have tacked it. This is pinned, you can figure it out. So I'm going to lay my tie in there. And when I do this with the tie, I'm going to be careful not to sew into it because it does need to slip up and down. I'm just going to put a few pins in here to hold this. I'm working with a lot of layers of fabric right here. We're going to use that hemming stitch to finish this off and secure this. Okay, there's her tie. It's going to look like this finished. I'm going to have this extra part of the tie that, see, this is all in one piece. It's a whole complete circle in there. But this was too long. So rather than cutting it, I'm just tying it so that it will be strong. Okay, when you put it on, you're going to hold it like this, both. Okay, you're just holding both ends of the tie together. Slip it over your head. You're going to keep one end behind your neck. You're going to put over your ears, and you're going to pull it up and think we have both under the neck. One up here someplace. Let's see if that works. So you're going to have just keeping this tight enough. There it is. All right. Well, good luck in making this. I think we need to take care of ourselves, and it's hard to find masks in the store, and when the family needs it, it's really useful that you can wash these, and you're using something that you might have in the house anyway, because masks can be very expensive. So thank you very much, and be sure to listen to the music that I have on Facebook and on YouTube, and look for Serendipity Music Studio. And a song that I'm putting out there for people today is the Lord's Prayer, and also I'm putting out songs that will give comfort to people. I think my favorite psalm is Psalm 145, and that's a psalm written by David, and so find something that's calming. Psalm 103 is excellent, and it goes like this. Bless the Lord, O my soul, and all that is within me. Bless his holy name. Bless the Lord, O my soul, and forget not all his benefits. He forgives all my sins and heals my diseases. Praise the Lord, O my soul. Bless his holy name. He crowns me with his loving kindness. Great is his love. Oh, God bless you. Thank you. See you later. Bye-bye.